In the frozen wilderness of Russia's Ural Mountains, a group of 9 experienced hikers set out on what should have been a routine trek. But by the end of their journey, they were dead, victims of a chilling mystery that has baffled investigators, experts, and the world for over 60 years. What happened that night in February 1959? What force drove these adventurers to flee their tent into the freezing cold, unprepared and in panic? And why does the Dyatlov Pass remain one of the most unsolved and eerie tragedies in history? Join us as we delve deep into the chilling case of the Dyatlov Pass incident, where the truth may be far darker than we ever imagined. Welcome to the Vault of Horrors. The fateful expedition. The wind howled through the Ural Mountains as 9 adventurers prepared for their journey into the wilderness. It was late January 1959, and the group, all students and graduates of the Ural Polytechnic Institute, were eager to complete a 300-kilometer trek into the frozen heart of the Soviet Union. At the head of the group was 23-year-old Igor Dyatlov, a seasoned outdoorsman whose leadership inspired confidence among his companions. The team was a mix of youth, experience, and camaraderie. Lyudmila Dubinina, the fiery yet determined 20-year-old, was one of 2 women on the trip. Zinaida Kolmogorova, equally tough, carried a journal that would later tell part of their story. Rustem Slobodin, a calm and athletic engineering student, brought quiet strength to the group. Then there were the others: Georgy Krivonishenko, Yuri Doroshenko, Nikolai Thibault-Brignolis, Alexander Kolevatov, and Yuri Yudin, whose health would force him to leave the trek early, narrowly saving his life. Their destination, Otorten, a remote mountain whose name meant "don't go there" in the language of the local Mansi tribe. The group was undeterred, treating the trip as another step toward achieving the highest certification in mountaineering. Spirits were high as they boarded a train to Ivdel, laughing and singing, their journals filled with sketches, plans, and excitement. But deep in the snow-covered mountains, something waited. Something that would ensure only Yuri Yudin would live to tell their story. The group reached their starting point on January 27, 1959. They trudged through thick forests and over icy ridges, documenting their journey in diaries and photos. Yuri Yudin, already feeling unwell, had no choice but to turn back. The others pressed on, unaware they were saying goodbye for the last time. As they ventured further into the wilderness, the weather turned harsh. Blizzards swept through the mountains, reducing visibility to almost nothing. The group adjusted their plans, deciding to camp on the slopes of Kholat-Syakhl, or Dead Mountain. It was an odd choice. Just 1.5 kilometers away, a forested area could have provided better shelter. Why they camped there remains one of many unanswered questions. The last entries in their journals spoke of the cold, the camaraderie, and the hope of reaching Otorten. Their photos captured smiling faces, unaware of the horror that lay ahead. On February 1st, they set up their final camp. No one knows what truly happened that night. When the group failed to return on February 12th, as planned, concern mounted. Families pleaded for action, and on February 20th, a search party was dispatched. Volunteers, rescue teams, and even Soviet military forces scoured the area. On February 26th, searchers stumbled upon the campsite on Kholat-Syakhl. What they found defied explanation. The hiker's tent was torn open from the inside, its contents left behind as if abandoned in a panic. Shoes, clothes, and personal belongings were scattered in the snow. Tracks led away from the tent, some barefoot, others in socks or mismatched footwear. Then came the bodies. The first 2 victims, Yuri Doroshenko and Georgy Krivonishenko, were found under a cedar tree, dressed only in their underwear. Their hands were battered, as if they'd tried to climb the tree or fend off something. Nearby, searchers found the bodies of Dyatlov, Kolmogorova, and Slobodin, leading back toward the tent as if they had tried to return but succumbed to the cold. The remaining 4 would not be found for 2 more months. In May 1959, the snow melted, revealing the remaining bodies in a ravine near the campsite. These discoveries raised more questions than answers. Ludmila Dubinina's tongue and eyes were missing. Thoba Bruniolis had a crushed skull. Kolevatov and Zolotaryov had severe chest fractures, the kind usually caused by extreme pressure, yet their bodies showed no external wounds. Even stranger, some of their clothing contained radioactive traces. Investigators were baffled. What could have caused such injuries? Why had they fled the tent without proper clothing? And what force had been strong enough to cause such damage, but leave no external marks? Theories began to swirl, from avalanches to military experiments, wild animals, and even UFOs. Officially, the deaths were attributed to a compelling natural force, but the vague wording only fueled speculation. The theories and speculation. Avalanche theory. Investigators suggested that an avalanche forced the hikers to flee their tent. However, there were no signs of an avalanche, and the injuries seemed inconsistent with this explanation. Paranormal theories. Some believe the hikers encountered something supernatural, a yeti, spirits of the mountain, or even extraterrestrials. Lights in the sky reported by locals around the time of their deaths added to this mystery. Military testing. The campsite was near areas known for secret Soviet military experiments. Could the hikers have stumbled into a weapons test? The radiation on their clothes and eyewitness accounts of glowing orbs in the sky lend weight to this theory. Or human conflict. Others speculate that an argument or external attack led to their deaths, but there's little evidence to support this. More than 60 years later, the Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the world's greatest unsolved mysteries. In 2020, Russian officials revisited the case, concluding that an avalanche was the likely cause. However, critics argue that this explanation fails to address the strange injuries, missing body parts, and other anomalies. For the families of the 9 hikers, closure remains elusive. Kholat Syakhl has become a site of pilgrimage for mystery enthusiasts and conspiracy theorists alike. The incident has inspired books, movies, and endless debates, but the truth may never be known. As you reflect on this story, one question lingers. What happened on that cold February night, and why did 9 lives end in terror? The Dyatlov Pass incident is more than just a tale of tragedy. It is a haunting reminder of how little we truly understand about the forces of nature and perhaps the unknown. Despite countless theories, investigations, and modern re-examinations, the events of that night in 1959 remain shrouded in mystery. What compelled 9 experienced hikers to flee into the freezing wilderness without shoes or proper clothing? What force caused injuries so severe they resembled a car crash, yet left no external signs? And why were some of their belongings, including clothing, laced with radiation? The Dyatlov Pass incident stands as a riddle that may never be solved, a story frozen in time. As we piece together fragments of their journey, we are left to ponder whether the answers lie in the harsh realities of the natural world, the shadows of government secrets, or something far beyond our understanding. The mountain's name, Kholat Syakhl, Dead Mountain, feels eerily fitting. Today, it is a place where questions echo louder than answers, where the wind whispers the names of 9 lost souls, and where the truth remains buried beneath layers of snow and time. For now, the Dyatlov Pass keeps its secrets, daring us to unravel them if we ever can. This is The Vault of Horrors. Thank you for watching.